Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Ashton Jackson, man, and I'm super excited because it's training camp and football is officially here, in my opinion. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about positions I feel like the Dallas Cowboys still need to address ahead of the season because, as we know, I made plenty of videos. Some of your favorite Dallas Cowboys content creators also have been making the same videos talking about they should fix these problems because if they don't, it's going to cost us our season. I'll talk about my work, what I've done, and what I've done in the prior years since I've been on YouTube. I was talking about why in prior years I made videos like this. The Dallas Cowboys didn't listen and ended up costing us. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my video. Never really, since I started doing YouTube in 2021, I made a video when Stephon Gilmore got cut by the Patriots. I was like, man, the Dallas Cowboys should really go after him because I felt like when you have a guy like Trayvon Diggs that's picking the ball off every single game, and then you have another lockdown corner, a former defensive player of the year, and Stephon Gilmore at that time, I was like, man, we should go get a guy like him. But then I also wanted to get another a one tech because I felt like that, we were really good. We were decent in secondary. We had solid depth at linebacker. We had the pass rushers that we needed to, but we just didn't have an interior play to stop the run. And we had a rookie 3-tech in Oso Odigizua, so it was a bunch of moving parts that season, but I really wanted the Dallas Cowboys to mainly fix nose tackle and cornerback too, because I wasn't really too confident in Anthony Brown in that Thanksgiving game against the Raiders. Really showed us that, right? Again, coming down the end of the season, we got the number 3 matchup against the 49ers. We lose to them. Why? Because we're undisciplined. We're not physical enough up front on the offensive line. We're not tough enough up front on the defensive interior. We get ran on, and things like that happen, right? And then, so that ended your season right there. Mainly we needed a nose tackle to stop the run, but we couldn't, and we weren't tough enough up front. So 2022, I was a big proponent of, man, I think that when you got rid of Amari Cooper, that was going to be one of your biggest, that was going to rear its ugly head, because I feel like that if you made the playoffs that year, which you did, I said that you don't have enough weapons to go up against San Francisco, Green Bay at the time, Tampa at the time with Tom Brady. I just felt like you just, the Rams, I didn't feel like you were tough enough at that point, or you weren't talented enough to go up against those guys. And sure enough, you go to Santa Clara, you just couldn't put up enough points because you didn't have enough talent to force that 49ers defense to really be on their heels. You couldn't do that, right, from an offensive standpoint. And I said, man, and look, it reared its ugly head. And that's why I was like, man, go get Odell and go get all these wide receivers. Calvin Ridley, who knows, But Dallas Cowboys didn't want to do that. Then we're going to the next year, 2023. We finally fixed wide receiver 2. We fixed cornerback 2 finally. We finally get Stephon Gilmore 2 years later. We finally get Brandon Cooks when we should have gotten him at the trade deadline the year prior to getting him in 2023. But Dallas Cowboys are always late like that. We're a reactionary team, not a proactive team. So, I wanted the Dallas Cowboys to fix that linebacker position. I wanted them really to go get Roquan Smith. They waited on that, and then they went and they got, nobody really, but they had no depth in the 2023 year. Lane Van Der Esch goes out with a neck injury against Santa Clara, and we're playing with a safety playing linebacker, Marquise Bell. We got Damone Clark, and we had to sign Rashaan Evans, and that was a big debacle within itself. So this year, what I feel like the Dallas Cowboys need to fix for the Dallas Cowboys to be better, the number 1 position that I would say off top is going to be defensive tackle, and that's going to be nose tech. Like the Dallas Cowboys want to contend this year, and they really want to make Brian Schottenheimer's life a lot easier, and they want to make his coaching career successful within the 4-year contract that the Joneses gave him. I feel like you need to be able to stop the run because, man, the Dallas Cowboys, man, it just reminds me, it's just like what they normally do in the NFL and what they used to do back, about 10, 15, 20 years ago. If you had an injury or there was something that you couldn't, if a player had an injury, had a knee injury, and you went to the next year, there are going to be players that are going to try to go at your knee and see, like, did you rehab correctly? Is your knee all right? That's what players would do back then. Not purposefully, but, like, it'd just be like a coaching thing. Like, okay, he tore his, quarterback messed up his hand a month ago. He had to get surgery. He's fine. We're in December. It's cold. What are defensive tackles going to do? They're going to smack. They're going to smack that hand of the quarterback that hurts, right? So same thing with the Dallas Cowboys. You couldn't stop the run, right? You haven't been able to stop the run, but really, that playoff game showed us that you really couldn't stop the run. And then last year when you played against, when you played against New Orleans, when you played against Baltimore, when you played against teams at Detroit, when teams just wanted to put their head down and run the ball at you, you couldn't do anything, right? So I think that's what the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to face when they go up against Philly Week 1, September 4th opening night. I really do feel that team is going to feel like they can punk you around. And if you don't fix that position, again, I'm not a big proponent of Mozzie has to step up or Jay Tuia has to step up. No, that's not my thing, because some of our top competitors and what our competition, they don't do that. They say, we're going to get a guy that we know that can come in here and do this position, and he does this very well. Niners will get a Javon Hargrave. They'll go draft a Arik Armstead or DeForest Buckner. They'll spend resource and capital to go get that. We're not a team that does that. So I feel like the Dallas Cowboys need to address that nose tackle position. The second position I feel like the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to do is, again, what has been our biggest impediment last year, the last few years, especially in the playoffs. We can't run the ball and we can't stop the run. I already talked about trying to stop the run. Secondly, we got to run the ball, right? I feel like your offensive line and your run scheme is going to be a lot better. Why? Because I feel like your coaches got a lot better than last year. We got significantly better than, McCurley, better than, what was the other one? Mike Solari, your offensive line coach. I feel like you got a lot better at that position, right? I feel like you got a lot better with Clayton Adams and Connor Riley and, everyone that's on staff right now on the offensive side of that ball. Right now, I'm okay with the running backs. I'm not satisfied. I made a video, showed the Dallas Cowboys go trade for Breece Hall. I talked about Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. I talked about the 45 running backs in Jacksonville. I wanted Trevor Etienne or whatever his name is, man. I just want a back that can come in here and add something to the Dallas Cowboys. Again, I'm cool with Javonte Williams, but I think that if Javonte Williams is your second back and then you get like a Breece Hall, you know what I mean? Like you have a Breece Hall, Javonte Williams, and then Jaden Blue is your third back, right? Depending on how many backs we actually carry this year. But man, like imagine Jaden Blue being your second running back as opposed to everyone in Dallas Cowboy, or not everyone, but most people in Dallas Cowboy Nation trying to uphold and trying to uplift Jaden Blue into this position that I don't believe he's going to be ready yet to do. But man, if the Dallas Cowboys can go get a real running back, again, I like Javonte Williams, but you're banking on Javonte Williams to return back to what he was in 2021. Okay, some of you guys don't really care for Javonte Williams. You guys really like Miles Sanders. If you guys like Miles Sanders, you guys are, again, hoping and praying that he can go back to what he was 3 years ago in 2022 when he was a leading back for that Eagles team that went to the Super Bowl and lost in Arizona. So, again, if you're banking on Deuce Vaughn, you're praying that he can go and return back to what he was at K-State. Now, again, I see how some of his K-State kind of relatives here in terms of he has Connor Riley's offensive line coach, and then you're going to have Cooper Beebe blocking for you. Now, I think Deuce Vaughn can be a wild card. I think he could make the team, but we're going to find out. Honestly, we're going to find out in training camp. But I'm not putting in too much stock in that. Phil Maffa, 7th round back. I don't have too much faith in that. But we're going to find out, But I feel like Dallas Cowboys need to make a move for a running back. I feel like if out of all positions I'm going to say, I think they're most content on that. I don't think they're going to make a move for that. And then last but not least, the last position I feel like we need to go at is cornerback. I would love Stephon Gilmore, Asante Samuel Jr., or Mike Hilton. I made plenty of videos talking about we need to upgrade the cornerback position. I feel confident in Kyrie Elam, but we're going to see what he's like in training camp. Your slot's going to be DaRon Bland. I think the person backing up DaRon Bland might be Keemon Hall. I think he might make the roster. But now that battle for that opposite end of Kyrie Elam on the outside on the boundary is going to either be between Israel Mukuamu or Kalen Carson. In my opinion, I would love to add Stephon Gilmore. That's another vet that you add into the room. You bring him in. Then you have Savon Revel, learning from Gilly. Then you're going to have Trayvon Diggs. Prayerfully he comes back at the right time, and pray for all those guys in the cornerback room stay healthy. But I'm a big proponent of you can never not have too much talent in one room. So I feel that, man, you have Stephon Gilmore, Kyrie Elam, DaRon Bland with backups of Israel Mukuamu and Kalen Carson. I just feel like you're going to have plentiful of depth, right, in my opinion. Then you get Diggs that'll come back, and then you get Revel that'll come back, and then you'll get Butler that'll come back, and then you'll have so many talent. You have so much talent in the cornerback room that you can possibly trade somebody. You can possibly, move guys to different positions, but you can do things like that. But you can never not have enough talent, especially when you look at your schedule. Again, I'm telling you, man, we play real hitters, man. We're gonna have to play Xavier Worthy, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith twice, Debo McLaurin twice. We're gonna have to play all these guys, Matthew Golden and those guys out there in Green Bay. Chicago got a crap ton of weapons. Cole Kmet, Loveland, Odunze, Moore, Luther Burden, like they got a crap ton of weapons. And what are you gonna do when you have to go up against them and have to cover them? You know what I mean? So especially if Caleb Williams is clicking, he's playing like how he used to at USC. That's gonna be tough. Minnesota's going to be very tough every single year. JJ McCarthy is the truth, and what everyone in Minnesota is trying to hype him up to be. You got Jettas, you got Hawkinson, you got Addison, you got running back galore. So you're gonna have the cornerback position locked down, man. You're gonna have to really figure that out. So again, the three positions I feel like the Dallas Cowboys need to fix going into training camp this year is that one tech position, running back, and cornerback. If the Dallas Cowboys don't fix those three big impediments that they have right now, it's going to cost them at the end. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.